You know, I'm really starting to fall in love with giant luxury SUVs, but what I love more are giant luxury SUVs with a lot of power. My name is Omar, and today I'm test driving the 2021 Mercedes-AMG GLS 63, and I'm definitely going to buy one when I get really, really rich. Alright, let's get right to it. This is my first time driving the new GLS, and I am very, very impressed. In the past few months, I've tested the BMW X7 M50i, the Cadillac Escalade, and the Dodge Durango Hellcat. But I'm going to leave the Durango Hellcat out of this, even though it is faster. When it comes to being a full luxury performance dinosaur, there's simply no comparison. I'm also going to leave out the Cadillac Escalade until they come out with an Escalade V Blackwing, so hurry up, Cadillac. So what the GLS 63 really competes with is the Alpina XB7, and as much as I love the X7, if I was going to buy a giant high-performance large luxury SUV, the GLS 63 would be it. That said, let me give you a tour of the 2021 Mercedes-AMG GLS 63, and then I'll give you my opinion on what I think about it. But before I do, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like. All right, let's do this. Now let's do it like we usually do and check out all of the cool and interesting things that you should know about the 2021 Mercedes-AMG GLS 63, because it's pretty awesome. Now before I start filming any car review, I want to make sure that the car is clean, so I usually go through a car wash. Luckily for me, the GLS 63 has something called automatic car wash mode, and once you activate it, the GLS will make sure that the vehicle is raised, the mirrors are folded, all the sensors are off, the sunroof and the windows are closed, so you can have a nice and easy car wash. That's super convenient. Next up, the GLS 63 is already super expensive, so it already comes with heated front seats and heated second row seats. But if you want to take your heated seat game to the next level and really kill it, you should get the warmth and comfort package for an extra $1,100. Now, if you go for that package, you will get heated door center panels. That's right, this panel here gets really hot. You will get heated door armrests, and you'll get a heated center console. So not only will your butt and back get heated, you will also feel very nice and cozy all around. But it doesn't stop there. If you shell out the extra $1,100, you will also get heated rear armrest. So keep on heating, my boys. Now, I would love to run through everything in great detail, but let's do a quick rapid fire session of all the cool things that you can find in the GLS 63, because there are a lot of them. Voice amplifications or voice enhancers are getting more and more popular in three-row SUVs, and basically you just activate it so the third-row passengers can hear you better because they're so far away. You don't have to adjust your driver's seat manually because you have something called automatic seat adjustment. You simply enter your height, hit start positioning, and the seat will adjust itself automatically to what it feels is the best position for you. My test model also has something called the Energizing Package Plus for an extra $550, and it will basically teach you how to meditate while blowing some nice fragrances on your face. Not to mention, you can also have meditation going while you're getting a nice massage, and that's standard. For an extra $350, my test model also has something called Magic Vision Control. What the hell does that mean? Well, when you spray the washer fluid onto the windshield, it won't blind you because the water comes from the wiper assembly. Why does it cost an extra $350 for me not to be blind? I don't know, but you have that option. Last but not least, my test model also comes with the upgraded Burmester high-end sound system for an extra $4,450, and it absolutely slaps. If you have to get any option, definitely get this one and do whatever you have to do to get it. By the way, the speakers of this upgraded Burmester sound system look absolutely gorgeous, and they light up at night when you have the ambient lighting on. Now let's talk about the pricing details of the GLS. If you want the regular GLS 450, you're looking at $76,000, but if you want the GLS 63, you're looking at $132,100. As tested here, you're looking at $149,115. So yeah, it is really expensive. Don't worry though, because at $132,000 plus, the GLS 63 comes pretty well equipped. You get the MBUX infotainment system with navigation, which is becoming standard on all Mercedes-Benz models. And if you want a deeper dive into the MBUX infotainment, check out my other Mercedes-Benz reviews. I'll link them in the description below. I've gone into great detail, so check that out once you get a moment. You also get standard heated and cooled front seats. Not only that, you get standard massaging seats, which you should at $132,000. That should never be an option at that price tag, so that's awesome. Your second row passengers will be happy because you also get standard heated second row seats. Also standard is this giant panoramic sunroof, which lets a lot of sunlight in here, so it's pretty nice. You also get a standard wireless charger. Thank God that that's standard. That should never be an option. You get a really beautiful 64 color ambient lighting system, and it looks really gorgeous in here at night. So yeah, you don't have to ball out on the extra options since you're already balling out by buying a GLS 63 for $132,000 plus. Now let's talk about horsepower and torque. Power comes from a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 with some EQ boost love, and that will give you 603 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. And that's made it to a 9-speed automatic transmission. By the way, if you want this carbon fiber engine cover, you will have to pay an extra $1,500, so don't do it. So how quick is it? 0 to 60 will come in just 4.1 seconds with a top speed of 174 miles an hour. So yeah, it is pretty quick for being so large and heavy. Now, if you're wondering what drive modes you're working with, you have sand, trail, slippery, individual, comfort, sport, and sport plus. Sport plus is probably the most fun. Now, when it comes to fuel economy, the GLS 63 gets 14 city and 18 highway. You have a 24-gallon tank capacity. I'm averaging, after a couple days of driving, a total of 14.1 miles a gallon. Not as bad as the Ram TRX that I'm coming out of. Now let's get into the exterior design of the GLS 63. Which do you think looks better, the BMW X7, the Cadillac Escalade, or the Mercedes-Benz GLS? I know there are a lot of other giant luxury SUVs, but those are my favorite. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite, even if I didn't mention it here. By the way, before we keep going, can we just take a moment and admire this beautiful emerald green metallic color? It's absolutely gorgeous, and surprisingly, it doesn't cost like $3,000 extra or something. What does cost extra are these 23-inch AMG wheels that will set you back a whopping $4,450. 21-inch wheels are standard, but yeah, you can upgrade these wheels to 23 inches if you really want to flex. Now, what do I think about the design? To be honest, I was never really a fan of the older GLS models, but this one here looks pretty stylish and actually very, very luxurious. The AMG model here obviously is a little bit more aggressive with a power dome hood and larger wheel arches, but the easiest way to tell an AMG GLS apart from a normal GLS is to just look at the grille. The GLS 63 here has an AMG specific grille with vertical slats, and I think it looks really, really nice. Looks better than the normal GLS grille for sure. I absolutely hate filming in the wind, but let's check out the cargo capacity. When you pop it open, you have 17 cubic feet behind the third row, 43 cubic feet with the third row folded, and with all the rows folded, you have a massive 85 cubic feet, so you can basically put anything that you want in here. Now, if you want to fold the third row and the second row from the cargo area, you do have automatic folding seats. The buttons right here are for the second row, and the buttons over here are for the third row, but you can just hit this button right here that says all one time, and then all the seats will start folding down. That is super, super cool and very convenient. I've never actually seen that happened before, but yeah, you can just fold them all down with a push of one button. And then once you're done using your cargo area, you can just hold this button down, push it once, and everything will come right back up into user position. That is super convenient. Now let's hop inside and look at the interior, and obviously it's a really, really nice place to be since this is the S-Class of the large luxury SUVs. It is super, super comfortable in here. These seats are as comfortable as your couch, which I hope is comfortable, because if your couch sucks, then these seats are more comfortable than your couch. Everything in this cabin is super nice to the touch. The GLS 63 comes standard with Nappa leather upholstery, so you have leather on the dash, you have real wood grain trim right here. You have a really cool steering wheel with some Alcantara. This is an upgraded AMG Performance steering wheel. Then you have leather on the side door panel, nice stitching right there, and more wood grain trim. I wouldn't go for this wood color. I feel like it looks kind of old. Now, I've seen those TikTok videos where people push parts of the interior to see if it squeaks or creaks, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and see if that's actually the truth, because I feel like some of them are a bit exaggerated. I'm pushing this pretty hard. It's not moving around too much. A little bit of squeaks, but that's expected. This is pretty solidly put in there. So yeah, I think those TikTok videos are a bit exaggerated. Now, I've already pointed out a bunch of things around this interior, including some standard features and some optional features, but what I didn't point out is that the GLS comes standard with 5-zone climate control, and that's insane. So that basically means front row passengers get 2-zone climate control, and then the second row passengers get their own 2-zone climate control, And third row passengers get a single zone climate control because they're not that important. And then you also have this ionization feature over here to keep the air in your GLS super clean. And then you have an air freshener, which I have turned all the way up because I like nice smells. Let's check out the legroom in this second row. Once you get back here, you have a massive 42 inches of rear legroom. I'm about 6 foot tall. That's my seating position. As you can see, I have legroom for days. I can even cross my legs, kick back and chill. So yeah, it's super spacious in here, and you can pay extra and get power hater shades for the side windows in the second row if you want some privacy. Now, if you're going to ride in the third row of the GLS, you can ask your second row passengers nicely to move their seats up because they can do that just by using their seat controls. But to get into the third row altogether, all you have to do is pull this button right here just once, and the second row seat will start folding and moving forward, and then it will lift up, creating a passageway for you to hop into the third row. Now, once you get into the third row, you have 34.6 inches of rear legroom. Obviously, it's not going to be that nice, but once you're back here, there's a button right down here to move the second row back. You have to keep holding it. It's not automatic, and I'm guessing it's not automatic because, you know, it doesn't just decide for you and crush your feet, so you can automatically control it. And now I'm crushed. I'm about 6 foot tall. That's my seating position, and that's not even all the way back. And this seat's been moved up. But yeah, it's not terrible back here. My test model does have heated seats back here, and you have 2 USB ports on each side, so that's pretty clutch. Now, before I give you my opinion on how it is to drive the GLS 63, let me point out a few random things that I'll have to show all of you, starting with the cup holders. As always, you have 8 cup holders, 2 in the front, which are actually heated and cooled on my test model here. And then you have 2 in the back for the second row passengers. And then you have 2 in the back for the third row passengers right here and right there. Here are what the keys look like for the GLS 63 right here. You got a nice little AMG logo, but you don't have remote start. I don't want remote start as a dealer installed accessory. I just want it standard from the factory. Let's hear the door open and close sound. Obviously, you have soft closed doors here because this is the S-Class of the large luxury SUV segment. Door closed from the outside and from the inside. Pretty solid, as expected. Now, when it comes to the charging game, Mercedes-Benz isn't living in the Stone Age. You have a wireless charger, which is standard on the GLS 63. You have 2 USB-C ports right there. Then you have another USB-C port right here. And then if you go into the second row, you have 2 more USB-C ports right there. And then if you go into the third row, you have 4 USB-C ports, 2 on each side, 1 for the right passenger and 1 for the left passenger. So there's a lot of USB-C ports in here. And of course, let's hear the indicator and horn on the 2021 Mercedes-AMG GLS 63. First, the indicator. Pretty Mercedes right there. And now for the horn sound. Pretty bossy, as expected. And now that I've given you a tour of the AMG GLS 63, let me give you my opinion on what I think about it. All right, let's get to it. There are no words to describe what driving a GLS 63 is like. You feel rich, you feel very powerful, but you also feel a little fear. And by fear, I don't mean that this thing is out of your control. This thing is actually very well composed and very, very smooth. The fear that I'm talking about is getting pulled over by the cops. This 5,800 pound plus SUV can run 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds thanks to that 603 horsepower twin turbo V8 that sits under the hood. The reason you'll be afraid of getting pulled over by the cops is because you'll never know how fast you're actually going unless you're looking right at the speedometer. You can easily top 100 miles an hour and not feel a thing. This thing is that smooth and that powerful. This is one of the few AMGs that doesn't have launch control, and that's okay because you don't need it. You'll never take your $130,000 plus GLS 63 to the track, but hey, on a normal everyday road, you can do 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds and have a lot of fun. Would I buy this over the G63 wagon? Probably not, even though this is faster. Also, the G63 is like 20 grand more. But would I buy this over the Alpina XB7? Most definitely 100% yes. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Peace. No, really, peace. Just hit 100 and I don't even feel it. Not even a little bit. It's amazing.